Hello, thanks for joining us. This is a Field Notes Explainer, where we make education topics easy to understand with clear, step-by-step explanations. Today, we're sharing another video in our SPED 101, Navigating Special Education series, expanding on the concepts we cover in our Field Notes newsletter. No matter if you're new to these topics or have been navigating special education for some time, our goal is to simplify things and help you feel informed and confident. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about something super important in the world of special education, and it's summed up in 3 letters, LRE. It stands for Least Restrictive Environment. And honestly, understanding this one principle can be a total game changer for your child's education. So, have you ever been in an IEP or ARD meeting and your head is just swimming with acronyms? Then someone throws out LRE? Well, you are definitely not alone if you've sat there nodding while wondering, what on earth does that actually mean? Don't worry, we've got the answers for you right now. At its very core, LRE is a legal right. It's not just a nice idea. It's written into the big federal law for special education, which is called IDEA, or IDEA. And what it says is really powerful. Every child with a disability has the right to be educated with their peers who don't have disabilities whenever and wherever possible. It's all about inclusion being the starting point, not an afterthought. So what that really means in practice is that the general education classroom is the default. It's square one. A school can only, and I mean only, move a child to a more restrictive setting if their needs are so significant that they just can't get a good education in their current classroom or placement, even with every possible support and service brought in to help. Now, to make sure this works for everybody, the law requires schools to have a whole range of options available. It's called a continuum of alternative placements. Just think of it like a spectrum of support, stretching from the least restrictive to the most restrictive settings. The goal, the starting point, is the general education classroom. A child should only move toward more restrictive options, like a resource room for part of the day or a self-contained classroom, if the team agrees their needs truly can't be met in the less restrictive environment, even with additional support. The options toward the further end of the spectrum, like home instruction or residential placement, are reserved for children with the most intensive needs. Okay, so here is the next big question. How can a kid with pretty significant needs actually succeed in a general education classroom? Well, it's not magic. It's all about giving them the right tools and supports to make that inclusion happen, and happen successfully. And these are what we call supplementary aids and services. Basically, they're the secret sauce. This could be anything from a one-to-one aide who helps your child navigate the school day, to assistive tech, like a special app on a tablet. It might mean having 2 teachers in the classroom. That's called co-teaching or inclusion support, or getting modified assignments. All of these things are designed to help a child thrive right where they are. And what's next is so important to get. LRE isn't just about what happens during math class. It applies to the entire school experience. We're talking lunch, recess, school plays, field trips, after-school clubs. Real inclusion means being a part of the whole school community, not just a visitor in a classroom. So the million-dollar question, who actually makes these huge placement decisions? And what are the rules they have to follow? You know, this isn't something one person just decides. It's a team effort, and it's governed by some very specific guidelines. Decisions are made by your child's IEP team, or ARD committee if you're in Texas, and you get to see who's right at the top of that list. It's you, the parent. You are an equal, essential, card-carrying member of this team. Your input isn't just a nice-to-have. It's legally required, and this team can't just do whatever they want. There are strict rules. Your child's placement has to be based on their specific IEP goals, not just a disability label. If possible, it should be at their home school. You know, the one they'd attend if they didn't have a disability. And this is a big one. Placement has to be reviewed at least once a year to make sure it's still the right fit as your child grows and changes. Now that you know the rules of the game, let's talk about how you can use your voice and your rights to be the best possible advocate for your child. I really want this to sink in for a second. You have the legal right to be a part of every single meeting about your child's education, from the very first evaluation to every placement decision. This isn't the school doing you a favor. It is your right under federal law. And here's another huge one. Consent. The school absolutely cannot start providing any special education services for the very first time without your written permission. Now, this is separate from when you consented to the evaluation. This puts you firmly in the driver's seat before any services begin. But what if you can't come to an agreement? I mean, it happens. What do you do when the school is proposing one placement, but in your gut you believe your child needs something different? Well, the good news is, you're not stuck. The law provides a clear path forward. You have a bunch of options. You can ask to pause and reconvene another meeting after everyone on the team gathers more info. If needed, you can request that a neutral person come in and help facilitate the meeting. And if you still feel stuck, you can move to more formal options like mediation, filing a complaint with the state, or even requesting what's called a due process hearing. And while all that is happening, there is this amazing protection in place for your child. It's called the stay put provision. Basically, it means that while you and the school are working through a disagreement, your child has the right to stay put in their current educational placement. This is huge because it prevents the school from making a change you object to while you're trying to resolve the issue. Also, it's really important to remember that LRE is tied directly to another big acronym, FAPE, or a free appropriate public education. It's easy to think of these as opposites, as if you have to choose between an appropriate education and an inclusive one. But you don't. They work together. The whole goal is to find the sweet spot that is both appropriate and as inclusive as possible. At the end of the day, LRE is so much more than just a sign on the classroom door or a spot on a school map. It's a philosophy. It is the promise that every single child's education starts with the belief that they belong with their peers, learning the same things, and being part of the same school community. So I want to leave you with a couple questions to take into your next IEP meeting. Think of them as the ultimate litmus test for LRE. Ask yourself and ask the team, have we truly tried everything? Before we even think about moving to something more restrictive, have we exhausted every possible support to make the general education setting work? When you can honestly answer yes to that, then you know LRE is being honored. Okay, that's a wrap for today. If you want to delve further into special education, policy updates, and other parenting and education topics, Field Notes has you covered. We've already taken a closer look at some special education basics, like FAPE and Child Find. We'll continue building on the ideas covered in this explainer video. Through it all, Field Notes is designed to keep parents, educators, and providers informed, empowered, and strengthened by knowledge. And if you need more hands-on support, here's what we offer: special education and Section 504 non-attorney advocacy, parent and family support services, education savings account consulting for schools, vendors, service providers, and families. And of course, our free resource, the Field Notes newsletter. Learn more at Accessible-EducationTX.com and follow us on Facebook or Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. Stick with us, and we'll help you navigate special education with confidence and clarity every step of the way. Just a quick note. Our Field Notes resources are for informational purposes only. We don't provide legal, mental health, or diagnostic services. Parents can book a free 30-minute consultation anytime on our website.